If you have pride, sorry, you cannot come and do this job. If you have pride, because some people that say, how can I come to the UK as a HCA? Please, where you are, how is your life even better there? Let's be honest. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Now, if you just see my face for the first time, it means that you're new here. Welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video, and please do well to join the family before you leave. Now, if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for that continuous love and support. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming back to watch my videos. I hope I keep entertaining you guys. Now, to jump right into the content for today, without further ado, I have been getting a lot of questions on how to relocate to the UK as a healthcare assistant. You know, regardless of the information that people have out there, because I know that there are a lot of people that have done content on how to relocate as a healthcare assistant, but people are still asking me how to relocate. So I decided to make this video just to tell you the bits and pieces of how to relocate as a healthcare assistant. Honestly, it's very simple to relocate as a healthcare assistant, and we're going to go right into it now. Now, the first thing that you're going to know is that you have to know what you're signing up for. Now, what are the roles of a healthcare assistant? Of course, I'm not going to go ahead to define what a healthcare assistant is. Of course, you know, there are healthcare professionals working in the healthcare sector, but let's look at the roles of a healthcare assistant. Now, let me say one thing. People feel like being a healthcare assistant is this in the UK is the same thing as being a healthcare assistant back home. But I'm going to clear that and say it's not true, because being a healthcare assistant in your home country, in my home country, for instance, let me talk with what I know. Healthcare assistants do not do observations. Healthcare assistants do not put in cannula for patients. Healthcare assistants do not take blood. And there are so many other things. Healthcare assistants do not do ECGs. You know, so many other things that healthcare assistants do here that healthcare assistants don't do back in my home country. Healthcare assistants just basically clean the patients, change the sheet, serve food to the patients, you know, help them. Those that cannot feed, they can help the patients feed, but they don't go in depth. Where I'm working currently, healthcare assistants that are trained, that have interest, are allowed to take blood if they are properly trained. They take blood from patients, they do ECGs, they take the obs of the patients, right? So that's one thing you have to know. If you really want to do well, even in the healthcare assistant role, this place provides you the opportunity to do so. So yes, that's a misconception I thought to just clear up. So now, to go right into it, having known some of the things that healthcare assistants do here, aside from changing patient sheets, cleaning them up sometimes, which nurses do. Just when you have the HCA on duty, it's easier for you. Helping patients that cannot feed, and you know, all these other bits and pieces. Once we know this, now let's go right into who can apply for a HCA role. Now, something you have to know about being a HCA is that you would always be under the supervision of a nurse, because so many people are very scared, like, oh, I don't have any healthcare experience, I can't work alone, how am I supposed to do it? Just know that you're never going to be put to work alone as a HCA. You're always going to be in the company of a nurse who will be delegating you on what to do, and also, you know, putting you through on some things. Now, let's look at some of the roles of a HCA. I know I've talked about some things briefly, but now I'm going to read from the NHS site, and I'm going to tell you what the roles are, because some people are not sure as well what the roles are. They're like thinking it's very cumbersome. It's actually a very straightforward thing. It's if you want to get advanced in the profession or the career, that you cannot get advanced and start doing all those other advanced procedures like taking blood and stuff. So, and of course, it's dependent on where you're working, you know, because some employers might expect you to do more in terms of your HCA role than other employers as well. But some of the general roles are to wash and dress patients, serve meals and help to feed patients, which I said earlier on, help people to move around, make beds, make patients feel comfortable, monitor patients' conditions by taking temperatures, pulse, respiration, and weight, which is like taking their obs. And in health centers and GP surgery, you may sterilize equipment, do health checks, restock the consulting rooms, process lab samples, take blood samples, like I said, and do health promotion or health education work. So you might be expected to health educate patients from time to time. I think generally it works even in health settings. Of course, you have to be careful with what you say, and if you don't know or have much information about something, I won't expect you to start talking. But I mean, if you have little information about certain things, you can always be in the position to health educate the patient as much as possible. Let's talk about some of the skills that you need to have as a HCA. You need to be caring and kind. You need to be cheerful and friendly. You need to be willing to be hands-on with patients. That you have to be someone that is concerned about caring for people. You need to be ready to be hands-on because you're going to need to be able to show a lot of care and compassion to your patients. You're going to be willing to do personal care tasks such as washing and toileting, like I said, changing patients' diapers, cleaning the beds when they saw the beds, cleaning the patients up, changing the sheets and all. You're going to be ready to be down to earth that way. If you have pride, sorry, you cannot come and do this job. If you have pride, because some people that say, how can I come to the UK as a HCA? Please, where you are, how is your life even better there? Let's be honest, please. How is your life even better where you are? So please, there's nothing like pride here. Even as nurses, we still get to do these very, very dirty jobs. So there's no pride in this thing. If you really, really want to go for something, if you really want to have a better life, it's an opportunity for it, like a stepping stone. So please jump on it. Now, another thing is that you have to be able to follow instructions and procedures. Like I stated earlier on, you're going to be working at the discretion of a nurse. You're going to be working under a nurse. You're not going to be working alone at any point. So you have to be someone that is down to earth, like I said, and willing to take instructions and basically obey instructions from whoever you're working with, right? Because I mean, you don't even know much. So if you're not obeying instruction, you're going to be making a lot of mistakes. If you're not down to earth, being someone that is willing to ask questions whenever they're unsure, you're going to go into a lot of problems and also put the patient's life at risk. Another thing again is that you have to be able to work in a team. You have to have a very good interpersonal relationship. Who can apply for a HCA role? For the purpose of this video, I won't be saying healthcare assistant. Healthcare assistant also means HCA. So who can apply for this role? Anybody can apply for the role of a HCA, ranging from doctors to nurses to pharmacists, med lab scientists, radiographers, students as well, people that come through the study visa, and even any other person from any type of profession. It could be an accountant, you could be a banker, a lawyer. You can actually come through the HCA route. Basically, the HCA route is usually used by people who are looking for means to come into the UK, but maybe the route they want to use is taking way longer. Like for doctors, they have to write series of exams before they can get jobs to come into the UK as doctors. So you might want to use the HCA route. Same for nurses. You might be trying to go through writing the exams you need to write as a nurse, and it's taking way longer, and then you want to come over as a HCA pending when you get all your exams and documents sorted. Same thing with other professions. You might want to use the HCA route just to come in and then work for some time before you really go into what exactly you wanted to go into from the start. So yes, the HCA route is basically for everybody. It just varies in terms of the requirements you need. There are similar requirements, but if you have a healthcare experience, it's like a more straightforward path than someone who doesn't have any healthcare experience. And we're going to be looking into that now. Having looked at the roles of a HCA and some of the skills that you need to possess, let's go right into what the requirements you would need for this process are. Now, the very first thing you'd want to have is your international passport. If you're coming overseas, of course, you need to have your international passport with you. There are still so many people that don't have their passports as at this time, and I really wonder why. So please, before you even start the process, if you know you don't have your international passport, please rush and go and get it. Now, the second thing you need to have is experience working in the healthcare sector. Hold up. I know some people are saying that, but I said, oh, from any other profession, you can apply for the HCA route. And now I'm saying just people that are in the healthcare profession. Calm down. So see the thing, you need care certificate. You need to have an experience working in the healthcare sector, at least for a year, right? But if you are working in any other profession and you don't have any healthcare experience, there are also options available for you. So you can either go into having several care certificates. If I get the link to some of this you can get, I know about Florence Academy, you can register with them and sign up and do the care certificates with them. Or another means of getting this experience is through going into volunteer work. So there are NGOs that you can volunteer to work for, or even healthcare centers you can volunteer to work for. It could be free of charge, it could be paid service. You can just volunteer to work for these people, and it counts as an experience as well. It's no hope lost if you don't have a healthcare experience, before some people will come for me now. There's hope for everybody. So another thing that you have to have, like I said, I mentioned having care certificates if you do not have any experience in healthcare sector. But if you're a nurse or a doctor or a pharmacist, I don't think you need to go through the route. You don't need to go to the route of getting any care certificate, because you already have experience working in the care sector. Another thing that you need to have, which I've talked about, is having your degree certificate, or it could be your diploma certificate, or even as little as having like your WAEC results. You can apply for a HCA role, but you have to develop yourself. Like I said, go for volunteering works, or get like care certificate, do some training to get your care certificate. So yes, your WAEC can serve as well. Another thing that you need to have is your English requirements, because they want to know that you are able to communicate. Because when I said some of the skills you need to have, I said good communication skills. So they want to be able to see that you can rapport well with their patients and even they themselves. So yes, you have to be able to prove that your English is good, and you can do this through the IELTS route. You can take the general IELTS. There's this thing they call ECTIS. I don't have much information about the ECTIS, but you can always Google on it and read more on going through ECTIS. But the best bet is just write your IELTS academic or your OET, occupational English test as well, and you have your English requirements. The band score required for this English requirements varies according to employers. Some people say have an overall band score of 6, some people say have an overall band score of 4.5. So it really varies. So this is one thing you need to check when you're applying for jobs, because when you're applying for jobs, they put it in the job description what they're really looking out for when it comes to like job requirements. But at least to be on the safer side, always work towards having a general band score of at least 6. Once you have all these requirements I've talked about, you can start applying to employers. It could be care homes, it could be NHS trusts, it could be nursing homes as well, it could even be home care, right? And then once you've gotten a job with an employer, the next thing you should be working towards getting is your COS. Your COS means Certificate of Sponsorship. Now this COS is what you would need to apply for your visa. So you have to get your COS. Someone came today and was saying, oh, I'm trying to apply for the health and care worker visa, but I've gotten to the COS part. How can I get my COS? And I was really surprised, because you have to get a job first before you can even talk about getting the COS. There are processes to these things. You cannot jump one. You can't count Z when you've not even talked about A, right? So you have to work towards getting your COS. And it's always good to ask your employer, or make sure that in your COS is indicated that you can bring over your dependents. And I'm talking about people, if you're single, fine, you might not be worried about this. But if you are married and you have kids, or you're a single parent, always make sure that your COS includes being able to sponsor or bring over your dependents. You see that there's a part of the COS that talks about dependents. It's either ticked as a Y or an N. So make sure it's ticked as a Y, because Y signifies yes, which says that they cover the dependents as well. So after you've gotten your COS, the next thing now is to apply for a visa. But now when you get your COS, your employers will want to see more things. They want to request for more documents from you. And some of these documents that they will request for is a tuberculosis test certificate. Now, this tuberculosis test certificate, let me put it out there. There are only approved centers for this tuberculosis test. And what is this approved center? It's the IOM. The short form is IOM, but the full meaning is International Organization for Migration. Now, I know that they have just 2 different locations in Nigeria at the moment, in Lagos and in Abuja. In Lagos, you have the IOM center located around Ikeja, and in Abuja, I'm not sure where it's located, but they have another place, Abuja, where you can do it. Someone told me today that, oh, they did their TB certificate, was it at Lutz Hospital, Lagos State University Teaching Hospital? That is not accepted. I don't know where he got the information from, but I'm putting it out there now for people that don't know and might still want to make the same mistake. The only approved center for your tuberculosis test certificate is the International Organization for Migration, short form as IOM. If once you put it on Google, check for location. If you're in Lagos, if you're in Abuja, if you're in other parts of Lagos, you would have to transport yourself to these places to take your tuberculosis test, but you can do the booking online, and then when you get your dates, you can now transport to either Lagos or Abuja, depending on which place is closer to you, to do this test. Now, aside from your tuberculosis test, you need your CV, of course. Sorry, I should have said this one before even talking about getting the job. When you're applying, you need your CV, and I've put a CV link in case you've not seen the video I recently uploaded for a UK CV format. I'm going to attach it up here, so you can click on that video and know how to prepare a standardized UK CV format. Okay, so watch that video if you've not watched it. It's just right there. Another thing your employer would want to ask for after they've given you a job is recommendation letter. So they would usually ask you to bring 2 recommendation letters, and most likely they would want it to be your former employees, right? Because they want to catch up on your behavior during the place and your efficiency and effectiveness. It's not just about what they've talked about during the interview. Now they want to get a clarification on the things that you've told them and know if you're going to be fit to work with them. And they would want these referees that you're going to be giving them to have professional emails. What I mean by professional emails, they want them to have their work email addresses. So make sure that whatever referees you are giving them or recommendation letters are people, usually they ask for referees and then they send out recommendation letters for them, or recommendation forms for them to fill on your behalf, right? So always make sure you have your referees handy and they have work emails as well. Or if they don't have work emails, sometimes having the stamp of the organization, the work organization or the hospital also covers. Another thing your employer would require from you is a police clearance. So you'd have to have a police clearance, and note that before you get this police clearance, please make sure you have a job. Why did I say so? This police clearance only lasts for 3 months, and from what I heard now, I think the price of this police clearance in my home country has gone quite up, so you don't want to waste money. So make sure before you're applying for police clearance, there are other steps that you need to take, right, before you get to that police clearance stage. So don't be in a haste to apply for a police clearance. Make sure you have your job first and it's been requested, then you can apply for your police clearance so you don't waste your money, right? It has 3 months validity and you have to get another one. So yes, you need a police clearance because your employer wants to know that you don't have any criminal records from your home country. Another thing that you will probably need is your COVID vaccine card. They want to know that you are fully vaccinated. I'm not sure all employers ask for this, but if you have your COVID vaccine card, it's always good to have it handy as well. Next thing again is your driver's license. So this is not compulsory. Actually, it's not all employers that would need you to be able to drive, but also when you're applying for these jobs, make sure you read the job description properly, read all the requirements for that job, because if they want you to have a driving license or they want you to be proficient in driving, they will state it in the job application, right? So make sure to always read through. One thing I've noticed with people is that most times they don't read the job description. They just see that, okay, this job is sponsoring for a tier 2 visa, and they rush to apply without reading the job description, and then when they finish with everything, they now see that they have entered BC. And the thing is that sorry, when I say BC, I mean they've entered problems. And the thing is that once you don't have the requirements for one of these jobs, nobody wants to know whether you read the description or not. You're going to have problems and you might end up losing that job after all the stress you have gone through. Just imagine it. So please always read the job description when applying for a job. It helps you to know what the employer is looking out for in your application. So usually once you have all these requirements, the next thing your employer does is to give you your certificate of sponsorship. And now once you have this certificate of sponsorship, what is the next thing, my people? It is to apply for your visa. And now the visa that you're going to apply for is the Health and Care Worker Visa, which is also known as the Tier 2 visa. Okay? Yes, so when you're applying for your visa, your COS is the most important thing, alongside other documents that I've mentioned now, which the visa application center will be asking you for, right? I'm probably going to do, there's not much to do in terms of how to apply for the visa, but if you want me to go in to make a content on how to really apply for the visa, then let me know in the comments section below. Just drop that comment for me so that I will do that content for you. After you've applied for your visa, you just go to the gov.uk website basically and search for the health and care worker visa. And once you've applied for that visa, all you have to do now, my lovelies, is wait. And this can take a minimum of 3 weeks, take longer, right? But usually within 3 weeks or even before 3 weeks elapses, you are supposed to get your UK visa, my lovelies. And after you've gotten your visa, what is the next thing to do? To start packing your bags to come to the UK. So yes, it's that simple. It's that simple. You just need to make sure that you're following all the steps and processes. You're following all the patterns that you need to follow. And wherever you are unsure, always ask questions. Now, if you are very dedicated in everything that you are doing, very dedicated as well in looking for jobs, because I know that this is where usually takes so many people's time, right? This is where people take so much time. But if you are very dedicated and you are serious about it, trust me, within 6 to 8 months, before a year elapses, you can get to the UK. When I was doing my process, yes, I came directly to work as a nurse in the UK. It took me, I think, roughly, within that 6 to 8 months as well. So yes, you can do it if you want to do it. You just need to be very, very serious. You just need to be hardworking as well. You cannot wait for someone to do everything for you. You cannot wait for someone to run this package for you. Like I said, you can do this process on your own, save yourself that extra cost that you will spend. People have been doing it and they've been coming over to the UK. Or if you say you don't want to go through the stress, you can as well use agencies as well that are recruiting internationally. So they act as a link between you and the employers, and they do everything for you, and all you have to do is bring yourself down to the UK. But that's going to cost you money, right? The employers pay these agencies to bring you down. So yes, but somehow, trust me, you're going to repay that money one way or the other. There are some that don't ask you for money at all. But honestly, this is something you can do on your own. People are doing it on their own. It's very, very simple, and I've explained everything, and you can see it's also simple as well. So guys, I've come to the end of this video. I really hope I'm not leaving anything out. I don't think I am. But if I have left out something and you need clarifications, you can always let me know in the comment box below. And if you have more personal questions you would like to ask, please leave me an email at everythingwithnosandy@gmail.com. I'm going to say it now again. I don't offer jobs to people, okay? I only bring information to you guys. I only sit down, do the little research I can do, and bring information to you guys. That's all I do, please. Because there are people that have come to ask me for COS. How? I'm only a registered nurse working in the UK. So I'm just here to help you people, bring information to you guys, and give you tips here and there as much as I can. I don't give jobs, please. Okay, my lovelies. All right, so yes, I'm done with this video, and I'll be seeing you guys in my next content. So if you want to be seeing wonderful contents like this, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Press that notification button as well, that bell button, so that you also know when I put up new videos. But you need to subscribe first, okay, before you press the bell button. If not, it won't work. Okay, thank you guys for staying to this point, and please like this video as well and share to your friends. If this video does not apply to you and you come across this video, please share to your friends, because everybody wants to jackpot. This is jackpot season. Why are you running? So if you know somebody that needs this video also, just share the link to them, let them watch and learn as well. All right guys, so until my next video, I'll see you soon. You guys just take care, stay safe, and remain awesome.